the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Mari Riesberg. Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all backgrounds, ages, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Fredrick Kyomya. He's an author and creative entrepreneur. He's the founder of Kyomya Publishing, his publishing imprint, and the Creativity School, an online learning platform. Please enjoy Fredrick Kyomya. So welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. Today I am here with Fredrick Kyomya. He is an author, a creative entrepreneur, and he is coming all the way from Uganda today. We're chatting, so I'm super excited to have you join me to chat about creativity. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yes. And I was looking up kind of time changes, and you're 10 hours ahead of me here in Colorado. So morning for me, evening for you, but welcome. I love it. And thank you for taking the time to chat.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you take a couple of minutes and just let our listeners know a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Okay, my name is Fredrick Kyomya. I'm an author and creative entrepreneur. I have written several self-help books, all published under my imprint, Kyomya Publishing. I founded an online learning platform called the Creativity School. And on this platform, I empower people with the tools to just be more creative. So we have audio series and games and just fun activities that people can do.
I love it. And I have to say, when I saw in your little bio that you have this piece called the Creativity School, I was so jazzed and so excited to talk to you about it, because I just think that is so needed right now in the world and such an important aspect of life, and having a place that people can go and find little nuggets of inspiration and games and ways to facilitate more creativity into their life. I applaud you and think it's so amazing. So yay for the Creativity School.
Thank you so much.
So when you think about being creative or creativity, what does it mean to you to be creative?
Well, to me, creativity is such an essential component to my career.
Mm-hmm.
It really just, I think, kind of saved me in a lot of ways. In July last year, my career kind of went sideways. And so I found myself having to figure out another plan and figure out another way of doing things, because I just kind of found myself with doors just kind of being shut in my face. Mm-hmm. So I now had to create opportunities for myself. And that's why I say that creativity saved me, because I really had to dig deep and just do the research and put in the work and figure out what works and what doesn't work to get where I am now.
I love it. I mean, hearing that creativity saved you, like that, what a beautiful statement. And it fills me with so much joy to hear that creativity can save someone and support them in shifting careers or overcoming obstacles and challenges. And it really sounds like you embraced creativity in a way that opened up a whole new avenue in your life. So I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely it really is such a big component when it comes to solving problems. Because I find myself having to be very resourceful because at the time I was quite broke. So I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to make it work, and that I think in those very tough times, I think that's when you get the most creative. There's a saying that says necessity is the mother of all invention. So here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and to look at creativity through that lens when there are financial challenges and how to get creative to overcome those obstacles or to navigate them. Sometimes it takes a while to overcome it, but to navigate the situation that we're in and using creativity to support those problem solving extra skills that we have. And yeah, I mean, what a beautiful way to live life. It definitely can be challenging for sure, but to incorporate creativity, it really sounds like, it brought, even in challenge, brought some joy into how you're moving forward in your life.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that statement. I think that's really what led me to create the creativity school. It really stemmed from, creativity having helped me get through this very tough time. Or actually, these very tough times, considering
Still in it.
I'm still in it. So these very tough times. And, I really just wanted to share that with the world. I really wanted to share this thing that helped me personally, keep pushing and keep going, with the hopes that it can bring someone else some joy and some hope.
Yeah, when I was looking at the creativity school, it was really inspiring to me. I know for myself, I can easily get in my head and fear and doubt about what I have to share with the world isn't what other people want, or it's not something that others will be inspired by. And yet to hear you talk about the creativity school and how it really comes from your heart, and that really spoke to me when I saw it, even on the computer, to see that where that was coming from, and inspired me to, kind of reflect for myself about, oh, this can be a little more of my story. I can put a little more of me into what I'm putting out there, as opposed to, okay, what do people want and how can I give it to them? So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's very kind of you to say that. You're welcome.
Yeah. And when you, it sounds like your job and your career and what you do is so creative, but how does creativity show up in the things that you do?
For me, majorly, it shows up in problem solving. So, like I said earlier, I was in a financially precarious situation. So there was that, and then, my career went left sideways. And so I was really in a position where things were really difficult in my personal life. And so I really had to look at my life, and I had to look at the situation and say, okay, I don't like where I am. I don't like this. I don't like the situation. I don't like being broke. I don't like this. So how can I get out of this situation? So that's where my mindset was. It's just like, okay, how can I get out of the situation? What tools do I have?
Yeah.
I have, my talents. I have my work ethic. I have my grit. So how can I use those things to get myself out of the situation? And another thing is, creativity is not like an individual thing. I say these things like, oh, I got myself out of the situation, but I had help. My parents have been really great. So I would say it's all about plugging yourself also into a community, because communities are very important, because those times where you feel down and those times where you feel like I can't go on, I'm very deflated, I can't do this anymore. The community really, really, lifts you up. And I think that's where you can really find strength. So in these very tough times, I have learned the value of community, along with the value of creativity as well.
Nice. Yeah, community, so important and such a huge component in my own life and my own creativity. And when you think about your community, how does it impact or influence your creativity?
Well, I have really great friends. So my
Yay!
friends, shout out to them. I have really great friends around me, and my friends have really, given me opportunities. So when things have come up and they think this particular opportunity would be a good fit for me, they said, okay, they've hit me up and been kind enough to, send me these opportunities. So I think that's the major way in which community has come through for me. Also, I've just made friends, on the internet. Shout out to my internet friends. And the internet is actually a really great space to create communities.
Yeah.
Because you're not limited geographically, as this conversation shows.
Yes.
So the people that I've met on the internet have given me really great advice, and really shown me my direction when I was directionless.
Nice. Yeah. It's such a great reminder that meeting people, even if you don't ever meet them in person, having that connection and relationship through the internet, the technology, how it really can expand our community in such a big way and expand our creativity and how we engage with it in this virtual world that we all live in. And particularly now during a pandemic, how we engage in creativity and how it can be inspired by the people across the world and around the world that we may never, ever have the opportunity to meet in person, but we can still collaborate and be inspired. And I love that finding mentors and extra guidance and support. I think those are really good reminders. I think sometimes I even forget that how vast the internet is and how we can use it in this day and age. So thank you for that reminder. And I love it.
You're welcome. It actually it's very recently that I was reminded. There's so much stuff out there that people are inventing new things constantly. And so there's just so much new stuff that's going on, and I'm always really surprised by what I don't know. Because I get in these moments where I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got this, things are going great. And then I'm swiftly reminded that you actually still have a lot more to go. So yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I'm really curious, kind of in that same idea of inspiration or things that ignite you. Who or what inspires you right now?
Oh, right now, I draw my inspiration from a lot of places. I think the major people that really inspire me are, the people around me. So family members. And just, I think the world, this year has brought COVID, and then that's brought like other challenges as well.
Yeah.
So whether it be like financial hardships, people losing their jobs, frontline workers, doctors and nurses. So it's seeing like how people around me have really been resilient in these very trying times, even in my own family.
Yeah.
And, it's just been like challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. And you just feel like you're just getting, just constant hits all the time. And, I really am inspired by, I think, humanity's resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's so much creativity that goes into resilience, creatively navigating the hits and the challenges that we get. And yeah, I love to me, that really speaks to that we as humans are a resilient collective, and no matter what gets thrown at us, when we come together and we find community, we're really able to overcome those challenges or redesign them in a way that speaks to us, and we can continue to move forward in our life. So resilience is a beautiful gift and can be a tough thing to remember, that we are resilient when we're in the throes of challenge. And particularly this year, I agree. It's been a challenge for sure. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
When you, no, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just saying, I think resilience is one of our redeeming qualities. It's like humanity. I think sometimes you look at the world and it's just like, everything's falling apart. And I think resilience is, one of our redeeming qualities as human beings.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. When, I have this curiosity about everyone, and I love asking this question. When you think about creativity in your life, what's your earliest memory of being creative?
My earliest, well, okay, so I don't actually remember this, but my mom says, okay, I should just, I bring this with a disclaimer that I always talk to myself. Ever since I was a young child, I've always just like talked to myself. Even now, I just have like full-on conversations with myself.
Me too.
And and it's one of those things. But when I was younger, my mom said I had an imaginary friend. So I
love it. Yes.
That was my first instance of creativity.
Being creative. Did your imaginary friend have a name?
I don't know. Well, I mean, okay, let me just like reimagine him right now. I think he'd be called like Winston or something.
I love it.
And that's the name I'm gonna give him, Winston.
Winston, perfect. I love it. Yes, I spent most of my childhood talking to fairies and plants in the garden at my house growing up, and making magical worlds and being a part of this very non-earth based life that I had created. So I can appreciate having imaginary friends, and I love it. So nice.
Shout out to Winston and the fairies.
Yes, shout out to Winston and the fairies. That's amazing.
Yeah.
While we've all been going through this epic COVID adventure, I wonder, what's some everyday issues that you have had to use creativity to solve in your life?
Well, specifically with COVID or just?
No, I'm just thinking like life in general, but I imagine there may be more creative opportunities since since COVID and what we've had to navigate. But I'm curious, just in everyday issues that you've had to use creativity to solve?
Well, I think the one thing would be money.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to find creative ways of getting money. So yeah, that's the one thing that creatively I've had to figure out how to get money, because money is an essential tool
Yeah,
to survive. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I think I think many people don't put those two together, the creativity and finance component, or, how to think creatively about getting money or about generating income. So that's a great reminder. It is something we navigate every day. Finances, money, how to get it, what are we using it for? And to remember how creativity can come into play. Because I think for many people, myself included, there can be fear and uncertainty around finances and money, and how to incorporate some creativity into the idea or the experience of money, I think can offer some levity and some lightness in it, and also maybe spark some amazing idea about how to generate income or money in a way that we wouldn't have thought of if we were focused on, oh, I don't have any, and versus how can I creatively generate some?
Yeah, that's well, I think we are just in a really interesting time because while there's this pandemic and all the challenges that we have, we also have more opportunities
Mm-hmm.
to create opportunities for us. So we have more opportunities to create opportunities for ourselves.
Yeah.
With the internet and with there's just so many new things with the pandemic, and well, not just the pandemic, but just the internet in general has really
Mm-hmm.
democratized so many industries. So the barrier to entry is low.
Mm-hmm.
So all you need is just some know-how, some intelligence, and can dress something up really nicely and put it on the internet and make a career for yourself. So it's a very interesting time.
Absolutely. It is. It absolutely is an interesting time. And that reminder of how many opportunities are available to us today than even 5-10 years ago, and how we are navigating life and technology. I think those are good reminders too, and how we can use technology in a way that we might not. I think for many people who consider themselves to be creative, technology can feel like a foreign object, and how to work with the technology available to us. When I started my podcast, I knew very little, and through watching tutorials and YouTube videos and all of those things, feel like, oh, now I have a little better grasp of how to use the technology for a podcast and be able to put the content out into the podcasting universe that I want to. So good reminders that we have these tools at our fingertips. And if we can move past some hesitation or fear that, technology, I don't know how to do it, that there's so many ways to learn how to do it. So thank you for those reminders.
You're welcome.
I just have one more question for you. What is your secret to creativity?
Well, I don't know if I have a secret. Well, I don't. Well, I think. Okay, my secret, and I'm going to say this with air quotes. My secret would be, just being in a constant state of learning. So I think with when my career went sideways, and it's still kind of sideways, but like in a more kind of positive way. I had to really accept. Well, okay, I'd say two things. The first thing I would say is that I had to be a bit more honest with myself, and in that I was trying really hard to fit into a structure that really didn't serve me. So I'm just not like an office person.
Yeah.
I like, showing up, doing the work, and then leaving. So I was not very good at pretending to be busy or when I'd finished my work, I'd have to stare at everyone, and everyone's furiously typing and moving papers around and walking up and down the office, and I'm just there like, well, I'm done for the day, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'll see you all tomorrow. So I was just not good at office politics and trying to pretend and doing all of that. So I had to be really honest with myself. That was number one. And being in a constant state of learning. So, when I left, again, when my career went sideways, I had to unlearn a lot of things and relearn new skills and new ways of doing things that would help propel me in this new space that I'm in.
Nice. I think both of those secrets in loose air quotes, being honest with yourself and learning. I mean, those are huge components to creativity. And I think they're great tools to remind listeners about that. These aren't things that you have to go like spend a lot of money on. You can be honest with yourself for free and
definitely.
And unlearn and relearn things as well. And so, yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of your bits and pieces about creativity. And if people want to learn a little more about what you do, where can they go to find more information?
Well, they can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Wonderful.
Facebook I'm really struggling with, so. Okay. But you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. My handles on Instagram and LinkedIn are at Fredrick Kyomya.
Okay.
But Fredrick is without the E in the middle. So FredRick. And then Kyomya, Kyomya.
Perfect.
And then Twitter is at FM Kyomya.
Wonderful. And I will put all of this in our show notes so people can easily find you and follow you and learn all about the Creativity School and everyone should go play this amazing 4-person game that Fredrick has on his website. And there'll be a link to that as well in the show notes, and play it with friends and let us know what you think. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It has been a pure pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise, this has been a really fun conversation.
Wonderful. Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. We'd love to keep in touch, so like us on Facebook and Instagram. We are Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and your family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your comments, reviews, and questions. Tune in Tuesdays for a new episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.